I've been broke sometime in my life. I know how it is to be on the very bottom, and I know it's a statement that I talk about as soon as I opened it up the phone. But I just want to clarify some stuff. I found out some cool stuff, and if you'll sit with me for about 4 or 5 minutes, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So apparently, whenever people are broke, if you're broke, if you have a job and you're consistently grinding, and you're not one of these people, flashing your life and renting cars to get other people to give you money and scamming people, I call it. So apparently, I found some really cool information, and I wanted to make a video on it because I thought it would be helpful and very, very beneficial. So I'm into fitness and health, and I've always been for about 25, 28 years. I've been, in and out of the gym. I'm constantly looking at personal development stuff and how to better our health. And I found that this was a project that was called Operation Lazarus. Okay. Now, Operation Lazarus, it was tested on 214 soldiers that were severely burned from the war. They were severely, like their tendons were torn. Some of them had shattered vertebrae. And in this project, they took 7.83 hertz. And this is between 7.83 hertz and 14.1 hertz, a frequency. Between those frequencies, 94% of the subjects show complete tissue regeneration. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you take these hertz and you put your earphones on and you listen to them, or you put them on loudspeaker and you have those hertz or those frequencies nearby you, your tissue starts to regenerate within 36 to 48 hours. It's pretty crazy, right? They did not want people to know about this. They also banned copper wire from being put in swim pools and in bathtubs and in sinks and stuff. That's why it's plastic. Because copper also anti-aging and heals you. So you can literally take copper wire that's like round up, that has a stake looking point to it, and you put that in your garden, and you put that in like certain points of your garden, and basically, sorry about the light, but you put the copper wire in your garden, and it makes your vegetables and your fruits grow healthier. It keeps them healthier and alkalizes them. So whenever you eat them, you're eating healthier food that is more alkalized by the sun. And I thought this was very, very interesting, because a lot of people, that have cancer and stuff, I found out some really cool stuff. So, I'm just going to be honest. I've been broke before, but I figured out a way of one of the things that changes everything. Okay. And that is your health, your fitness, and you working out and cleaning up your diet, changing your identity is a major part of it. And that's why I opened up with the whole General Patton thing, because we don't have to go to those extremes to change our identity to better our lives. But that is just an example of what people has done. George J. Patton was Donald Trump, fostered in by the Trump family. He wears it like a glove. And I don't know if he was put in there as a informant or a spy, but what I do know is he's comfortable and he liked it. He liked that lifestyle, and he didn't want to get He didn't want to get out of it. About from rock bottom, how I built my body and my mindset, and how I changed my life every time, because it's a repeat of being in alignment. When you dial in your macros and you dial like, and I also made an app where I can go in, I can put my macros, and I can keep consistent with my diet, with my exercise, with whatever I'm eating, and stay consistent so you get results faster. A lot of people, they don't understand that everything, there's a starting point on everything. Okay. And on earth, what people miss is they think, well, it's the money that I make, but that's wrong. Money's not going to make you, it's going to change your life and it'll help you. But if you're at the very rock bottom, this is for people that are stuck in a 9 to 5, that are making minimum wage, or they're making a decent amount, and if you want to better your life, you must focus within first. All the answers to this equation of changing your life, bettering your life, getting you in shape. You've got to get in shape. I mean, I'm talking about 100%. You need to get your. See, I'm in a whole lot better shape than I used to be, because I used to be overweight. I was obese. My diet was completely shit. Everything that I ate was, just, I wasn't watching what I ate, and I was eating out of boredom, and that is the thing that I want to talk about. Boredom leads to temptation, and temptation leads to eating foods that we do not need in our bodies. These foods that are good and that have sugar in them, that is what's causing all the cancers. That is what's causing the aging, the cancers, the internal problems, organ problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, stuff like that. So what I noticed was a pattern. Whenever I got my body in shape, and whenever I got my body in shape and I started watching what I ate and I dialed in my macros, my mind followed. So I had a better mindset, and I was making better decisions. So whenever it's just like any superhero. You see him always in shape, and like, say, example, Batman. Batman was extremely in shape. Like, he was top notch, and his physical fitness and his diet was everything. That's what made him Batman. Because that's what made him strong. That's what made him smart. That's what made him, be able to do what he did. So I noticed there was every time that I would get out of alignment, everything in my world, everything in my life would go to shit. Everything in my life would go to hell. My relationships got worse. My relationships with the family wasn't good. My work, I was struggling at work. I was struggling at everything that I did. My confidence was completely low. I was depressed, and I could not figure out what was going on. So this was back whenever I was in high school. So I got myself in shape. I started playing football. Well, that got me in shape. I changed my mindset, and I changed my diet. Now, I don't mean taking all foods out of your diet, all the foods that you love to eat, but minimizing and watching what you eat at certain times of the day. Now, I just found some other information that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be tracking my journey for this. And so I found some information that is really cool, and it's pretty groundbreaking. But every time that I get in alignment with, thank you, Bevel. So every time that I would get in alignment with my diet and my exercise and my body, basically everything in my life was great. My relationships were great. My my work, my job, my mindset, my confidence, my life in general, and everything that was going on. So there was a pattern. So every time that I would get back out of shape, everything would fall apart again. And then I would go back to the ground roots of putting, I know what the problem was. Whenever shit would start going downhill, I knew I'm slacking. I knew that, I look at what I'm doing and I'm like, well, it's my diet, so I would fix that and it would fix the problem. So I would feel better. I'd feel better. I'd look better. I would think better, and the world around me. So that's why I say life is a mirror. However you take care of yourself, however you look at yourself, treat yourself, however you talk to yourself is how the world is going to look at you. If you it's not selfish to put your priorities and take care of yourself. And if anybody in your life makes you feel like you are selfish and that you are, well, that's so selfish of you. Well, it has to be. Because how are you going to be the best of you? And how are you going to take care of the people around you in your life if you're not on top of your game? If you're not doing what you know is right to do? And that is why I talk about your subconscious mind of whenever you are picking up bad foods and you know they're bad, and your subconscious mind is basically, you're guilty after you do it. That is the voice of God telling you not to do it, and that's why you feel guilt after. But the whole point of this video is basically when you're in alignment with your diet and your exercise and you're on top of your game, everything in my life was good. Everything in my life was great. Relationships were great. Work was great. I felt great. My confidence would be 100%. And then as soon as I fell off, it was a repeat. So I knew exactly what the problem was. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be documenting my journey. And I think, if you're in the same boat I am, or if you feel that you want to document your journey too, I think you should. Not only are you keeping accountable with making content, but it keeps you accountable and it keeps you motivated on making that next video. Now, if people come into your comments, putting you down, making you feel bad, making you feel guilty for what you're doing, just ignore them. Seriously. Just ignore them. Because this is not about them. This is about you. To help others. To inspire others. To change other people's lives while you're changing your own. And then you'll notice your whole life will start coming into effect. But you must set a goal and a vision. The vision has to come before the goal. You must visualize what type of life do you want. How do you want other people to look at you? And then you must work within, not without, not outside of you, not externally. That's where people go wrong. They think all of their answers is in a YouTube video, such as what you're watching, but these are your answers. Seriously. If you really write all this down and say body first, everything in your life, you got to align everything in your life with you putting your body first. Okay, so your fitness is first. Then it's your nutrition. Then it's your relationships, the people around you, your family. Then it's skills and your mindset, and then it's your finances. If you get your body in alignment and you get everything in alignment where you feel good, your body's looking good, your mindset's good, your nutrition is on point, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to get better sleep. That you'll get rid of the anxiety. You'll get rid of the depression. You'll put down the smoking. You'll put down the alcohol. That's exactly how I stopped all of what I was doing. I haven't drank in 3 to 4 years, and I feel amazing at it. I feel confident that I can give that something up, and I don't have to pick it back up. And it motivates you to want to do better things for yourself as time goes on. But I've been broke. So if you're somebody that's broke, start working on your body and start documenting your journey, and then you'll start noticing things start taking effect in your life. And if you're amazing and you believe it, it's what we believe. That is what's going to make things come true. It's all about belief. I found out how to basically make us completely in shape faster, more sufficient, and less time. So I figured out a way to build more muscle, to lose fat faster, and to get you in tip-top shape, or myself in tip-top shape, which I'm going to document my whole entire journey. But in this video, I want to talk about how this new way of working out that aligns with how the bodies are actually designed. See, the media I've been watching and I've been learning the different ways and strategies that people has been using since the early 50s. And how the body is designed is completely the opposite of what all these people have been doing. And what I notice is there's the people that have been doing the same thing, their joints wear out, their ligaments wear out. By the time they're 40, they're, some of them don't even making it till they're 40. And I'm talking about the bodybuilders. Now, this new method of working out to build muscle faster and to get in shape faster, it only takes literally 10 to 15 minutes a week. And you're like, what? Yeah, a week. You heard that right. A lot of people have this misconception that you need to train a lot, you need to train every day, you need to train 5 to 6 times a week, an hour at least in the gym. That is a misconception. Our bodies was not designed to take on that workload. Yes, we can abstain it, but not to just build muscle that you want to build and get in shape. You can do this at your house, okay? And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to be a test subject for this, and I'm going to show you it works. Okay, so basically what it consists of is you add, now this right here is a way to hydrate you. And see, our water, say the water that we drink, scientists have proven that if you talk to your water, literally say positive things before you ingest it, it has positive health effects in your body. And you're like, oh man, this is mystical. This is science. This is backed literally by science. Now, with this way of working out, so you're basically taking 10 to 15 minutes a week. So when you do your curls or when you do your bench press, instead of going, you don't fully extend your arm, you keep your arm bent. Okay, keep your arm bent, and I'm gonna show you an example of it. But basically, what you're basically doing is you're lowering the weight slow. Okay, so you basically lower the weight extremely slow. You keep your arm bent, and then you go back up 5 seconds up, and then 5 seconds down. Slow. But keep it bent. Don't fully extend your arm. Keep it bent. That keeps the tension on the muscle. And then you lift it up all the way back up. Now these are just 20s, but I wanted to show you an example. Now with the bench press, the same thing. Instead of going all the way to your chest really fast and then back up, go extremely slow. I'm gonna put that on there. Go extremely slow. 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. Okay? And you're going to do this to failure. Now, you're going to notice while you do this, you're gonna get tireder faster. Your muscles are you're gonna be breaking more tissue down doing it this way, and it's going to break the tissue down faster. And what it does, see, a lot of people, they have this misconception: you need to train a lot. When you train for an hour to 5 days a week, they will do a set. They'll do the set fast, not contracting to produce the stimulus, and after putting the weight down, they'll rest and go check their phones, condense all that to 45 to 60 seconds, and instead of 45 minutes to 1 hour, literally 10 to 15 minutes, you could have each exercise and your muscles completely obliterated, so you can get that stimuli. And then whenever you go home and you drink your protein and you sleep, you basically replenish your muscle will grow back stronger. Now, this will decrease tears. This will decrease risk of tearing something or grinding your joints to the bone as time goes on and as you get older. Now, 15 minutes to 1 hour is what normally I would go and work out. And what I found out was that's just waste of time. You don't need all that. Now, by going 10 seconds, by going slow for 10 seconds, 5 down, 5 up, you're basically hitting all the muscle motor units. So it's in the sequence of typically people just doing the full sequence to failure, and they're not stimulating all of the fibers within their body. Now, this can be done with every exercise. Just go 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. Whenever you're doing like bench press, push-ups, go 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. And you do that till failure. Now, by going slow for 10 seconds, you're hitting all the muscle fibers units. Okay, they're called muscle fiber units. So it's in a sequence, and typically people just don't go the full sequence. And then whenever you're not, like now talking about nutrition. So a lot of people, they eat because they're bored, or they just don't know enough about nutrition, and they think, it has everything to do with the gym, but it has a lot to do with what you eat, how you eat, and how frequently you eat. And what I found out was it's like fasting. Our bodies are conditioned, and basically they are created to fast, and it's really good for you because it re-breaks down the cells when you fast, just like when you're asleep. And if you do long periods of time, so start eating like once a day, and then very rare you can go like twice, eat once every 2 days, and sometimes once every other day. Now, how the body is designed to fast and then eat. Same thing with how you train. So everybody, you don't need to do it 5 to 6 days a week like everybody say or thinks to get results. The body is designed to be broken down and then replenish, and you're not going to be hurting your ligaments and joints and the rest time. That's why a lot of these people in jail, they work out, but you see them whenever they come out and they're jacked because they up their sodium, and they don't work out every single day. They have more rest, so the muscle completely breaks down. They obliterate it, literally go down to failure, and then it builds back faster. So the more time you have off, that's why a lot of people like Tom Planks, he would train his legs twice a month, but his legs were the biggest in bodybuilding, and he had the best legs in bodybuilding. He had huge legs, but he would go all the way to failure twice a month. So the body is designed to fast, and then you eat at the same thing with the body. You can train all the time, but real training, you don't have to train much. If you want, you stimulate, and then pretty much that's it. You will build more muscle and lose and keep body fat considerably low by doing this. If you're doing all the right things, belief will override everything. Okay? And there was a study done, basically, if you think negative things, and it's like the chronic killer. The individual that is focused on healing themselves because they think something is wrong with them, and then they're eating perfectly healthy and doing the same thing. So there's two individuals, and one person is they're both eating healthy and doing everything in their life perfectly. So they still get sick from the belief of overriding is still there to heal something, and they are self-manifesting things within their body due to how they speak to themselves and the words to be healed. They're constantly in this healing crisis. It's a loop. It's a constant loop. So you need to know, I don't need all of this food, and nor do I need all of this training in order to be optimal health. You need to tell yourself, I don't need all this food to be healthy. I don't need all this food to build muscle. I don't need all of this training. And by doing so, you're conditioning the cells in your body just like if you would doing it with water, conditioning your water before you ingest it. The will and the belief that you have also dictates the body, because to even go further, then there is another study done that they set up a group in a scientific study where they said, think about one group was not going to work out like with weights or anything like that. All they had to do was think about working out. So they would think about working out, thinking about contracting the muscles. They had a group that did that, and then they had the other group just working out and contracting as hard as they can with actual weights. And the ones that just thought about it, they actually built more muscle stimulus. They had more stimulus in those test subjects than they did the actual people that were lifting weights. And that just blows my mind. It's all about belief, and it's all about how you talk to yourself. That's why a lot of people, they'll get sick right after they talk about getting sick, or so the ones that just thought about it, the muscles they were stimulated, and if they were working out, not to the degree of working out, but the body was still stimulating the muscle just through the very belief and the thought of thinking of it. We are so programmed and conditioned to think that these bodies need so much. Our bodies are naturally sustainable, but what happens is when you eat so much, there was a study done on this to validate what I'm saying. They had two sets of groups. One group was doing calorie restriction, and they were eating 3 to 4 times a day, and they would reduce the calories. And then they had another group that was fasted. They didn't even eat nothing. They only had one meal a day, sometimes every other day. And I believe in the study, they did a 3-day fast or something like that, and then they would eat. So what happened with that study? The ones that did calorie restriction, the body went into starvation mode, and they actually started losing muscle mass, muscle tone, their muscle mass, and they lost weight. And the people that fasted lost fat and maintained their muscle. Water preparation, this is very interesting. 15 to 30 twists of salt in your water, and this will put minerals in your body and keep you hydrated. The body this will restructure the cells in your body. So what it basically does is it breaks down all the bad cells and it replenishes, and it will make you healthier. It will keep you hydrated longer, and it will make your whole body, your skin will be complete. Like I've been doing it here lately, putting a lot of like salt in my water and stuff, but it makes you your hair is more healthier, your body's healthier, you feel better, you wake up, You're never foggy minded. You don't have nearly no headaches at all. You know, your gut health gets, it's just all over, just all over. So stimulate and stay in the deficit. Try to start fasting, you know, every other day, and it's not going to kill you. Like, that's what a lot of like people that I talked about fasting, they'll be like, oh no, that's going to hurt me. That's, you know, not eating. What are you talking? Are you kidding? The American diet was designed to basically make us overweight and to put our internal organs into a shock. And that's why a lot of these internal organs are falling apart, and that's why a lot of people, it's all the hamster wheel of getting you to go to the doctor, and that's just more money. It's a money gimmick. That's all it is. And it's programming to make you unhealthy, just like the foods have all these GMOs and all these additives in it, and that's all it is additives to hurt us. So it gets us sicker, and it creates cancers. Use this way of working out. You can do 10 to 15 minutes for each muscle group one day. And literally you'll start getting better results if you do the fasting behind it. You'll feel better, you'll look better, you'll be in and then eat fruits with seeds. And then you need to start conserving the seeds that you have in your fruits and stuff, because I heard that they're going to stop making seeds in the packets, so we can't grow gardens and stuff like that. So we have to depend on them and eat their fake food. Me personally, I'm all against that, because that's wrong. You know, this is life. This is the world. Who's gonna they're gonna charge us for water. They're charging us for everything that's supposed to be free. It's all to make a buck. It's all to make money from. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and give me a thumbs up, and I'll start bringing you, you know, as I document my journey, and as I document, you know, me working out in this type of manner, because I'm going to try this approach. I think it's very science-based. It's science-backed, and you know, the people that I see doing this is in amazing shape. They're completely ripped. They have muscle. They feel amazing. They're on top of the world. So I just wanted to share that with you, because it breaks all the misbeliefs. It breaks all the crap out there that people think that they have to do just to sustain a good body and to be healthy and to look good and to feel good. You know. So anyways, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up or the like button, and I'll bring you more. If you have any questions about what I've talked about in this video, please drop it below, and that's all.